Hello again, my darling Cupies. Sorry I jumped off so abruptly in my last video. Ophi was calling me. But yeah, I am still very shaky. And I am cold now. I think the temperature has dropped. The dark chocolate Ensure is my new favorite flavor. It's so yummy. It tastes like pudding. Like my favorite kind of chocolate pudding. Fucking love it. So something that I do is I keep track of like my food intake and shit. Keep track of my nutrients and shit. Because ARFID, you kind of have to keep track of that shit, or else you kind of end up screwed when you end up deficient in a few things. So, I do keep track of a lot of that stuff, as absurd as that might be. And I also like to keep track of how much I'm, like, consuming just from a basic... What the fuck? It's like, I got some of this Ensure on my nose, I'm sorry. There we go. It left like a big old chocolate mark all over my nose. Okay, anyway, but yeah, I do keep track of like how much I take in as well, kind of to gauge, trying to figure out my like body and all that good shit. Like, I don't know, it's like trying to figure out like how much I'm running on and how much and noticing the patterns of like what seem to be my best and most efficient days as far as that goes. And then it's like, I don't know, it's like interesting. And seeing how different foods affect me as well. That's kind of how I ended up learning what foods were super inflammatory. Yeah. So yeah, that's a whole thing. But the app that I use to track it, it keeps being like, buddy, I'm a little bit concerned about how much you're eating, or how little, I should say. And it's like, I'm poor. It's like, I think the app is terrified that I'm like abusing it to be used to enable a restrictive ED or something. But it's really just that I'm really poor. I'm too poor to eat. And, well, you see, I'm only allotted so much, money for groceries, and food stamps. So, it's kind of hard making that stretch in any way that's actually meaningful when you have ARFID and all the cheap foods or inflammatory shite that fuck your lupus. So you're backed in a corner by your autism and your lupus, and you're like, thanks. And the government's like, here's a couple of pennies, and so you can get some of your protein and some of your Ensure, but not enough to actually live a reasonable amount on. So you end up running on less than a toddler needs on a daily basis to fucking live. And then you wonder why you have 2 neurotransmitters to your name. And why you feel like blowing your brains out. That's the thing. When you have ARFID, you often suffer the same consequences as as a person with the other restrictive food conditions, we'll say. Just not on the psychological level as much, because it's different psychologically speaking. Especially since it'll vary from everybody's different kinds of ARFID. And I also am a very unique case because my ARFID and lupus both kind of act against me. I kind of, the typical foods that most people can afford in bulk are just too inflammatory for me to indulge too often. Like ramen. Fucking love that shit, but if I can only do it ever so often. This is the pack of ramen I bought back in spring. I haven't even opened it. The pack that I bought in winter, I did open, only to disperse all of it in this drawer so it could actually be stored adequately. So, yeah. I have a drawer with a bunch of ramen in it. Because, you know, you never know when you might just have that occasional craving for ramen, and then you're like, okie dokie, let me mark it on the calendar so I know I can't consume another one for this month. Yeah. It actually blows my mind that there are people that eat more than one pack of ramen in one sitting. Holy shit. I can't even, look, I have such a hard time even getting through a single pack. Like, it takes me hours to eat a single bowl of ramen. And there are people out there who, like, eat multiple packs at once. Like, that bowl is full of, like, more than one pack. It's like, oh my god, how? I mean, I reckon they take out the broth. I'm not that hoe. Ramen's meant to have broth in it. Taking it out is like asking your ramen to be spaghetti. Why are you asking your ramen to be something it's not? I don't know. But somehow I ended up on a little ramen tangent. I feel so fucking gross. God. Existence fucking sucks. See, the thing is, my father might have remorse for my existence, but it'll never outweigh my own remorse for it. I feel so fucking gross. I used to be the epitome of clean and organized. I was that person. Everything was organized, everything was just so, everything was neat, tidy, perfect, immaculate. Including myself and my hygiene. And now I'm just a worthless cripple who's rotting. And now my teeth are rotting too. Because I struggle. Worthlessly. Uselessly. And I know my teeth look disgusting. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate how disgusting they look. I hate how disgusting they feel. I'm too autistic. I was that bitch who needed to fucking brush their teeth after every meal because the fucking sensation of anything left on my teeth is too much. Can you imagine how hellish it is to exist like this? So fucking depressed. I don't know what to do about it. I do. Okie dokie. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I hope you guys are having a better time of things than I am. I'm not so much just like losing my cool as much as I'm just really, really struggling to try to keep myself hyped up enough to just not lay down and wait for just it to end. Because good lord, is that a fucking tempting option. Oh, but that takes entirely too long. I'm lazy, what can I say? It would hurt too much for others. For me to like do something to act against myself. But if I were to lay down and just my body gives out, then that doesn't hurt as much, I reckon, for them, for those who are left. Maybe that's an absurd way to look at it. Yeah. Very depressive way to look at it. But hey, I'm rotting in my own filth, but I'm not disabled enough to get SSI. Because the government says that I'm absolutely perfectly fine. I missed most of classes last term, but yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Thanks. Thanks for nothing. I tried to do one small thing independently, and not even the big thing that I have to fucking do. And I fucking biffed it so hard and ruined the rest of my day. But, I'm perfectly fine. I'm great. I'm grand. I can't even get a job to fucking hire my ass. Even they know I'm worthless. If the employers won't employ me, what am I to do? The government says I can starve. So too say the rich. The government and the rich are basically one and the same at this point. Let's be real. The government isn't for and of the people. It's for and of the rich. Let's not delude ourselves. The American dream only exists for people of a specific tax bracket. The rest of us, we're the ones who pay the cost of that dream. Because, back when I was able-bodied still, before the lupus took my final fucking thing from me. When I was still able to push myself a little bit. For a moment. I was a damn hard worker. I have never been a lazy person. But, I will always be accused of such. Even when it's just efficiency. I've had to learn how to be efficient. As a disabled person, you learn to adapt. The rest of the world calls you lazy when you're learning how to be efficient. But then there comes a point where your efficient isn't not enough to adapt to your level of disability, and you don't get enough support for your level of disability. And that's when efficiency's not enough, and that's when you end up rotting in your own filth. Hoping God has the good fucking mercy to give you some sort of lethal fucking infection so that'll kill you. So that you don't feel guilty for exiting. Because then, at least it wasn't something you did. It's just your stupid, worthless body failing. Like it always does. Right. I was wrapping this up, wasn't I? Sorry, I say goodbye like an Ohioan. You'll have to forgive me for that. I unfortunately was raised there, predominantly. Me living in West Virginia has only been a thing of the past couple of years. I was born here, but I only lived here a couple of months of my life before we moved to Ohio, where I was raised for every year of my life up until I was 21. No. Yes. No. Yes. I was 21 when I moved to West Virginia. Wow. I moved to West Virginia when I was 21. And I've been here ever since. For the most part. Other than that brief moment I floated homelessly in Ohio for a minute. But yeah, I do say goodbye like an Ohioan, and I do apologize for that. So, now I'm saying goodbye for real. I do hope you guys have a good one. Sorry it's so depressive and such a bummer of a video. It's just, it's a rough day. It's a rough day, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here panicking and trying to figure out how I'm gonna fucking do anything. And all I've done is sit here and rot. So yeah. See you guys in the next one. Bye.